Jai friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. How do you monitor these hundreds and thousands of gaming platforms which allow you to chat anonymously using a fake ID? You can chat with a person, delete it, move on to the next. Children were trained. That is what the intelligence agencies say. Her kids were trained. And her kids were trained to speak with a certain accent, to always tell their Hindu names. Jai friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. So friends, regarding this very unique and curious case of Seema Haidar, the Pakistani national who first from Pakistan went to Dubai. From Dubai, she took a flight, she came to Kathmandu, and supposedly on 13th of May, that's what she says, 13th of May, she entered India to be with her lover, Sachin Meena, who lives in a village in Greater Noida. Now, here is where the story gets a little bit murky. 13th of May. She insists 13th of May is the day when I entered India. Now, the fact of the matter is 13, 14, 15 doesn't matter. She has entered India. But where it does matter is that all the CCTV coverage has been taken. All the CCTV coverage, right? And all the intelligence agencies in Nepal and India have consulted amongst each other. There is a rule by which they say that, when there is a foreign national in a nearby area of their country or ours, we'll let the other country know, right? We'll let the other country know that, these are the foreign nationals who are here. So you can be alert because the India and Nepal borders are open as they should be. And I hope to God forever they will be open. The Nepalese can come to India. This is their country and Nepal is my country. I can go whenever I wish to as an Indian citizen. That level of brotherhood must be maintained forever and ever. Having said that, both the intelligence agencies of Nepal and India cooperated with each other. And on 13th of May, nobody who looked remotely like Seema Haidar or had a name like that with 4 kids ever entered India. So the first question is, when did this woman enter India? Nobody knows. They will find out eventually, but nobody knows when she actually entered India. Did she go to another part of India before she came to Gautam Budh Nagar? What is the involvement of Sachin Meena, her lover whom she met supposedly while playing PUBG? Right? Now, there are 2-3 things. First of all, these mobile phone applications of these games, etc., have become a tool for intelligence agencies of countries which are inimical to our interest or have become tools for terrorists to talk to each other because WhatsApp can be monitored. All right? You can monitor WhatsApp. You can monitor, people are saying that now you can even monitor other platforms like this, which enable you to chat and all that, like Snapchat, etc. You can monitor them. That's what they say. But how do you monitor these hundreds and thousands of gaming platforms which allow you to chat anonymously using a fake ID? You can chat with a person, delete it, move on to the next ID. It becomes very difficult to track. And you can always speak in code. Now, what Seema Haidar did, of course, she entered India. She's in custody of the ATS. Now, the Intelligence Bureau and the UP ATS, that is the Anti-Terrorism Squad, are speaking to her and they have come to know 2-3 things. First of all, she had 4 separate mobile phones. My friends, this is very odd. It's very rare nowadays to find a person with 4 separate mobile phone numbers. Why did she have 4 separate mobile? Because today you have phones with dual SIMs, triple SIMs, quadruple SIMs. All those kinds of phones are available. And at one time, I remember property brokers used to have 3, 4, 5 phones. Long back I'm talking about. But today that is not a requirement. So you might have people with 2 phones. But a woman who has, said that she's a village woman. She dresses like a village woman. She speaks perfect Hindi. Why does she need 4 phones? I mean, because she says she's a housewife. Why does a housewife need 4 phones? For what? All 4 under different names. Why do even I need, for that matter? Forget about a housewife or a working lady or why does any human being require 4 phones and that too in 4 different names? That is number 1. Number 2, she has got 5 passports with 5 different names. And she has got a 6th passport in which the name and address has been left blank so that it can be smartly, using a computer, put there if she requires another identity. So here we have a person who clearly belongs to Pakistan, who has an identity card, a Pakistan national identity card that was made in 2022. She was clearly not born in 2022, but that was made in 2022. So all these years, she had a passport, but she did not have a national identity card. Now, how can you as an Indian have a passport made without an Aadhaar card? Please tell me if you can. You can't, right? You need some sort of identification. You need something at least. Now, this woman did not have it. Everything was created fresh for her. Because as I mentioned earlier in one of my videos, nobody looks at the date when the Aadhaar card was made or when the Pakistan national identity card. Nobody looks at the date. People look at the photograph, the name. Even at the airports, as I said yesterday, even at the airport, they check the photograph against the name, they check your ticket against the name, and that's it. Inside, in a high security place like an airport. Now, this was forged. The passports were all forged, right? The mobile numbers point out to a definite, there is a needle of suspicion on her. Why does she need so many passports? Why does she need mobile phones which have been taken under a different name altogether? And Pakistani SIM card. Apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of people, a lot of NGOs who are trying to, now they're slowly and slowly, very slowly coming out of the woodwork. One odd tweet here. This will build up. Don't worry, this will build up. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, you will see this building up. There will be I support Seema campaign, I am Seema campaign. This will start hashtag on Twitter. It will start trending. They will start it. If the matter is not resolved, there is a big if. Here is a caveat. If the matter is not resolved, this will start. A few NGOs will start speaking for her. This is going to happen. And now let me again tell you one thing. The intelligence agencies say that this woman has been very, very carefully trained and her children have been trained. The way she wears a sari, the way she puts the sindoor in her mang or the parting of the hair, the way she puts the bindi, the way she wears her jewelry, every single thing she has been trained for. The way she conducts herself, her deportment, her style of speaking. Earlier, I thought it was only the style of speaking. But later on, I also realized this, though I could not articulate it because I said that how is she? I thought maybe Sachin's mother has helped her with this. That was my initial thinking. But now the intelligence agency is saying that no, this entire persona of Seema Haidar has been fabricated. And how do we know for sure that the people because the Pakistani national media is not talking about her, right? A small little thing happens in India, their national media reports it. It's like wildfire. Anything happens in India, any small controversy is reported very widely in the Pakistani media. I read Pakistani newspapers online every single day. And I have been doing it every single day ever since I discovered the internet after I left the army. I have been reading Pakistani newspapers every single day. I may not read an Indian newspaper, but I read a Pakistani newspaper. That is my bread and butter. And to know how the people of Pakistan, how the politicians, how the army thinks, it is important to read their publications, their papers, their magazines, and I do all of that every single day without fail. And I can tell you for sure, they are not covering this news. There could be one off article here and there, but the mainstream media has not covered it. Right? Tomorrow, if Deepika Padukone says something, Dawn will cover it. Right? If some cricketer in India says something, they will cover it. But such a thing that the Indian media has been covering for such a long time, the Pakistani mainstream media has given it a miss. Now, this tells me that those YouTubers who are going and covering, who are investigating Seema, there are a lot of YouTubers who are commenting on Seema, Pakistani YouTubers. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about them who are deliberately there to plant stories. They have been set up by the Pakistani deep state, by the ISI, saying that you go, you cover the story, you give her good covering fire, and this is the narrative that we want, right? This is the narrative that we want. Seema should stay in India. She'll figure, actually, Seema would have never gotten caught, ladies and gentlemen. We would have never been able to catch her. It's only Sachin Meena who, by mistake, mentioned it. Or is that also a conspiracy? Because if she has come all the way from Pakistan, I'm just sharing my thoughts. If she has come all the way from Pakistan and she knows this is illegal, and then she comes inside India, stays illegally, has so many passports, has so many, even a stupid person would know that it's illegal to keep all this. You can't have more than one passport and different names, it's illegal. You're forging identity. You'll go to jail, right? In spite of that, Sachin Meena goes and tells his lawyer that, she's a Pakistani. Slip of tongue, good Samaritan, under a lot of pressure trying to save himself. We'll know only later when the agencies find out. We'll know for sure, but we'll know only later. Today, I'm telling you, the main problem here is this, that Seema Haidar was trained specially by ISI-funded human traffickers in Nepal. And that is the story today. Human traffickers who routinely do this. So, what do these human traffickers do? And especially to women. So, do you need a human trafficker? And since it's regarding women, so let me talk about women here. Do you think it would need a human trafficker to get Nepali women to India? They can walk in. They can walk in anytime, right? And there are enough Gurkhas or people of Nepali origin living all over India. And they have Indian citizenship. And they function and they serve in the Indian army, they serve in the intelligence agencies, they serve all over our paramilitary forces, they serve all over our CAPFs, like the BSF, ITBP, all of them have got Gurkhas. The CRPF has got Gurkhas. Everybody's got Gurkhas. They're all over the place. And the Gurkhas are our brothers and sisters and they're most welcome. Like we are most welcome in Nepal. So who are the human traffickers smuggling? Apart from the fact that if women have been kidnapped, whether it's Indian women or Nepali women, for the purpose of prostitution, that is a separate case and I'm not going into that. But apart from that, what is a human trafficker targeting? And if you are going to actually traffic a woman for those purposes, you would not get into the details of how to dress or how to walk or how to conduct yourself and pose as an Indian. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. You would not go to such great extent to forge an identity, right? You wouldn't go to such an extent. Why did they go to such an extent? Why did they use human traffickers? That is what I'm trying to bring out, ladies and gentlemen. And the fact is that they used human traffickers, right? Like they use smugglers across the Jammu border and in Punjab to, use drones and throw drugs and weapons inside India. They don't do it themselves. They outsource it to smugglers because smugglers are professionals in that. And the Pakistani army regularly does that. Yesterday only we covered the news about BSF recovering 2.5 kgs of cocaine or heroin or some drug which came in from Pakistan and the drone crashed inside India. Or the drone, it came and they left that package, it landed with a thud. So earlier somebody thought that something had crashed and perhaps I think the drone went back. But here's the thing, using human traffickers to say, okay, Seema, you are going to talk like this. You are going to dress like this. Your sindoor is going to be like this. Your bindi is going to be like this. Your bangles are going to be like this. You are going to talk in such a manner. Have you seen the confidence of Seema Haidar in front of the camera? Have you seen that kind of confidence? There are a lot of people who are politicians. All right? And I'm saying politicians because politicians are in a public facing role. They are public people. And I have not seen politicians, many of them, senior level people, of course, they're a different thing, but at least people who are trying to get a foothold in politics, I've not seen that kind of confidence that Seema Haidar. Who exactly is this woman? Her children were trained. That is what the intelligence agencies say. Her kids were trained. And her kids were trained to speak with a certain accent, to always tell their Hindu names. Which means, how do you train a 1-year or a 2-year-old kid? Let me tell you that. You'll wonder that the agencies could be wrong, and Major, I think you're wrong, because you can't train kids are innocent. Of course they're innocent. But if you put, let's say, you have a 1-year-old child, and you put that 1-year-old child for 1 year in a room full of people who speak only Japanese, and that is what the child hears day in and day out. Day in and day out, 24/7, that child only hears Japanese. By the end of 1 year, the child will start speaking Japanese. That's that simple. I may have a difficulty because now I'm of a certain age where learning is difficult. But for children, they're like a sponge. They absorb everything. And this is exactly what they did. They trained their kids to speak in a certain manner. She was trained. The Pakistani intelligence agencies trained her 4 kids. And this is how they infiltrated into India. Why 4 passports? Maybe she would need another identity. She would leave Sachin, go somewhere else, get hold of some other guy, build up an entire sleeper cell inside India. How many Seemas are there in India, by the way, ladies and gentlemen? How many? There are a few questions. Is the Nepal border being regularly used to infiltrate into India? Because they can't do it. See, you have to understand, they can't do it from Kashmir because the Indian army has sealed the Kashmir border. It's very difficult. I mean, maybe 1 in 100 survive. People, 50-60% don't even attempt. Then there are people who do attempt, but they fail. And 1 or 2% who do manage to get through or try to cut through the fence, they're shot dead, right? Or maybe out of 100, one odd guy may come inside, but that person is rare. Similarly, the Jammu border. In Jammu border also, there is the Indian Army, there is BSF. Along the line of control, it's largely Indian Army, but also strong elements of the border security force. The international border, completely electrified. They call it the Cobra wire or the Cobra fence. The BSF guys call it Cobra, and it has got electricity running through it. It's very difficult. You'll be electrocuted if you try to hold on to that wire. It's that dangerous. And it runs thousands of kilometers along the IB, right? So, how's it that all this has happened here? They have found Nepal to be a convenient source of infiltrating inside, or convenient space, convenient place, and they will infiltrate into India. How many Seemas have come here? The more you think about this, the more you understand what kind of a deep conspiracy this is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. I'll keep you posted on these developments of Seema Haidar, because the more the intelligence agencies question her, the more they come to know that this woman is a professional. She's a good professional. She has been trained well. Her kids have been trained. But what did she enter India to exactly do? Not play housewife to the Meena household. That was not her job. Because to play a simple, humble, dutiful housewife, quote unquote, you don't need 6 passports and 4 SIM cards with 4 mobile numbers and a fake identity card from Pakistan. You don't need all of that. You don't need all of that. She could have come in quietly without anything. She got 2 videos of a marriage, right? Why? Did she want the videos to be found out? We need to understand all these things, because sometimes a spy will deliberately, get stuff hoping that it is found out because he wants it to be found out, because it will help build a certain kind of narrative. So what was the intent? She could have just entered India without any of these things. Sachin had gone to Nepal to meet her, to Kathmandu to meet her. He could have gotten her saying that she's my wife, and they say that they married there in Nepal itself or whatever the story they're cooking up. And they came to India and she could have lived here, end of story. And he could have just told the village people that, she's from some other village in one part of Uttar Pradesh or Madhya Pradesh, and nobody would have asked. And some story they could have cooked up and they could have lived there. Nobody would have questioned them, right? But they chose not to. And something is seriously amiss. I'll try and keep you updated on this issue later. Thank you very much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this video, do press like. Subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. You must press the bell icon. Ding, it goes when you press it. I think the sound comes out or something like that. So thank you once again. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata ki Jai.